Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Wanted to kind of share with you guys here what I'm starting my morning off with. I'm always talking about, you know, these mental vitamins and putting my mind in the right place in the beginning of the day. It's very important that what you listen to or what you're absorbing, consuming, besides food and coffee in the morning, is super important. So of course, I always start my day off. Got my coffee mug here. Good little logo, like a little gift that I got. So drinking my coffee. I always start the morning off with a little bit of dark roast and some MCT powder. Kind of mix that in there with some coconut oil, But anyways, I wanted to share this little paragraph or two that I got out of the Champion's Mind book that's sitting here on my desk. Like I said, sometimes I'm listening to my playlist on my phone. Sometimes I'm listening, to like an audio book, or sometimes I'll just pick something up off my desk, open it up, and just read a couple paragraphs out of something and just try to catch something. I got a closet full of other books here, but morning, Mr. Cody. Morning, Mr. Graham. How's it going today? So I wanted to share this with everyone because I think this is really good stuff. I think a lot of us are guilty of this. So for those that are just hopping on again, it's a little piece here. I know, Mr. Graham, you asked me to share this. I'll get this. I'll share this to you here in just a moment when we're done with this. But self-talk, feed the good wolf. All right, self-talk, feed the good wolf. Let me read this to you real quick. So there's an old Cherokee legend known as the Tale of the Two Wolves. A grandfather explains to his warrior grandson that there are two wolves within each of us. One wolf is positive and beneficial, while the other wolf is negative and destructive. These two wolves fight for control over us. The grandson is curious and asks, "Which wolf will win?" The grandfather replies, "The one you feed." Man, that's pretty deep stuff, like it's pretty simple, but it's just, and we know this stuff, like we all know this, but we need to be reminded of these things, it's the one that you feed. So then it goes on, it says, if thoughts determine feelings, then feelings influence performance. That being the solid gold truth. Learn to think more positively about yourself and your game. That is, monitor what you tell yourself and always feed the good wolf, not the bad wolf. This is one of the most important life lessons you can ever learn. Understanding that the choice is yours alone is very empowering and important. The first step in feeding the good wolf is learning to identify your own negative and self-defeating thoughts. Typical negative thoughts an athlete can have include, I suck at this, I'm not good enough, or I don't belong on the team. We all have these thoughts at times, so take a moment right now and identify some common negative thoughts about your athletic capabilities that run through your mind while you're at a practice or in a game. Now, I'll just leave it there because I don't want to keep going on because there's more to it, and I'll share more with that later. But man, that's so true with so many people. Like, we feed the bad wolf. We don't see much worth or much value in ourselves. And this is specifically talking about sports, but I can relate this to just anything in life. I talk to so many people, again, not necessarily right now like I'm used to doing because we're isolated and everything, but the things that come out of people's mouths sometimes about themselves, especially like women. Women are really quick to tell another woman like how pretty her hair looks, or how nice her purse is, or how nice her nails look, or how whatever, about complimenting another person, but not so much themselves. And I kind of recognize that. And then guys too, guys are just really quick to give compliments to something else but not themselves. You don't want to get that mixed up with like arrogance or like cockiness, but you do got to have a sense of self-confidence to yourself, self-esteem, some self-worth, to where you're not overdoing it on the like on a bragging sense, but you know that you've acquired a certain amount of skills or whatever the case may be, that you should be speaking highly of yourself. Again, not to the point where you're kind of rubbing people the wrong way because you're just talking about yourself all the time. But never should you feed the bad wolf with constant negativity, with you're not good enough, you're not worthy of whatever it is that you're trying to go and get. And a lot of us, whether it's on the jiu-jitsu mats or in life or a job interview or at work or at school or in a relationship or anything, will feed the bad wolf with all that negativity and then let that bad wolf take over the good wolf. I just think, just small little things like this can really just put your day on the right path. Again, what you're waking up to in the morning and what you turn on and what you listen to. I do pay attention to the news. I do pay attention to what's going out there on my news feed and stuff like that. But like I was talking about the other day, I was scrolling through my news feed and there was just like some bickering going back and forth between two high-level black belts that are really well known in the jiu-jitsu community. And I'm like, and I ain't got time for this stuff, man. I caught myself kind of reading just a portion of what was going on. And, for one, it's not a good look for jiu-jitsu. And for two, I'm feeding my mind with two other guys that are kind of going back and forth about some nonsense, acting like two little kids. And, so I had to turn it off and start playing some other positive stuff, come in my office and get into a mindset of getting my mind back to where it should be. Because you can go in one room, catch the news, catch everything negative that's going on and how everything is just falling apart, economy and everything else. And then you go through your news feed and you see people that are just, hurting and they're putting out negative vibes out on Facebook. And you go to Instagram and then it goes to the same thing. And it's like, man, you got to be able to be self-aware and catch yourself and then go grab something like this or another book or a playlist of some sort, and help put your mind in the right position to feed that good wolf. It's just something I think everyone should be more self-aware of feeding the good wolf versus the bad wolf. So be more mindful of your thoughts. Be more mindful of what you're consuming, especially in the beginning part of your day, in the middle part of your day, at the end of the day. Like I said, I got some family members that they put themselves down a lot. They don't think that they're worthy of certain things. They don't think they're pretty enough. They don't think they're good enough at a lot of things. And what I catch a lot of, how I translate it, is they're comparing themselves to a lot of people, their friends or people that aren't friends with, people that they just kind of look up to celebrity-wise on Instagram and Facebook. And they put themselves down because they don't look the way they look, or they're not doing what they're doing, or they're not in a place, like some beautiful place somewhere on earth that they want to go to, that they see someone else doing, or they see someone else just accomplishing something that they want to accomplish, and they're not there yet. And so they put themselves down into it and then beat themselves up so bad that they're in a place that it's just not good. And then it piles up and just over time you create this concrete block of negativity that someone has to come in and help you, like chisel and break all that stuff up, especially if you're not doing it on your own. And that makes it really tough for anyone to help you and get help and put yourself in a good position if you're just piling just negative thoughts on top of each other, to where no matter what anyone says to you, no matter what kind of advice they give you, what kind of books they share with you, you just don't want to accept it because you've put so many years of negative thoughts in your head that you just don't think you're worthy of anything. So if you're just hopping on, or if you came on in the middle of this, I'm just reading a little paragraph off the Champion's Mind, and it's just self-talk, feed the good wolf. And it kind of goes into, it's got a little excerpts from like a lot of different high-level athletes and their mindsets and their stories and stuff like that. That's why I kind of like it, because it kind of hops around a little bit from different athletes that, you know, that I know, that I look up to in certain sports. And it's sharing their mindsets on their particular sport, their craft, and how they're able to just put their mind in a place where, whether it's under pressure or it's a big game or whatever the case may be. But right now we're in a big game, the game of life, and we're definitely, you know, taking some L's right now in some certain areas because of what's going on. But that doesn't mean we got to lose the game altogether, right? So, you know, just got to put it in perspective like that. Maybe it's the second quarter, maybe it's it's halftime, and now we got to come back and win. Or it could be last second shot, fourth quarter, we're down, and we gotta bring it down the other side of the quarter, the field, and win the game. So, anyways, I wanted to have just, you know, a little something new, a little coffee with Coach. I'm drinking my coffee this morning, getting the mind right, some mental vitamins, and starting the day off right. Just kind of share how I'm, you know, kind of how I start my morning. So I'll leave it there. Let you guys get back to work. And again, you just hopping on, go ahead and I'll stop this here. You can catch the beginning of it. But again, self-talk, feed the good wolf, not the bad wolf. All right, you guys have a very awesome and positive day. We'll catch you next time.